Welcome to the Reckless Paradise Podcast, everyone. I am your host, Dystro, and tonight's topic of the night is going to be SummerSlam matches. Now, I know when you think about SummerSlam, you think about the biggest party of the summer, the festivities and all that stuff for WWE. And yes, you are correct, but we do not know a lot about some of these SummerSlam matches. Might be some hidden gems in there. You just never know. But I wrote down a little bit of a small list, not a huge list, but I wrote down a small list to go over with you guys tonight, and I'm gonna let you guys, know what I think about some of these SummerSlam matches, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So now the first one that I think of when I think of the SummerSlam is the Bret Hart versus British Bulldog Intercontinental Championship match from SummerSlam 1992, which was the main event at that time, which is a huge deal for UK wrestling fans. Now, if you don't know the backstory behind it, Bret Hart was wanting to have two opponents in mind. He had two opponents in mind, and if they were going to be doing it in the States, he was going to lose it to Shawn Michaels in a ladder match. But if it was going to be the UK, which was booming around that time in the early '90s, he was going to lose to the British Bulldog, which did indeed happen. And the huge backstory behind that was British Bulldog was kind of having a little bit of the wacky tobacco with Jim the Anvil Neidhart that day, and kind of forgot all the stuff that they wanted to do in that match, and Bret Hart just kind of helped him through it and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like an all-time classic, 5 stars. Is a really good technical wrestling masterpiece match too, and the crowd was hot for that match too, which is a good thing. Um, and props to Bret Hart and British Bulldog for pulling that out of the bag and having a wrestling match classic. And plus it was in the main event too. And plus British Bulldog. If you don't want to know the rest of it, please skip ahead just a little bit. But the British Bulldog reverses a Irish whip, kind of like Victor Roll pin, and he kind of stacked on him, kind of like a jackknife, almost pin to for the 1, 2, 3 and all that stuff. Good, cool finish, really good finish. But yeah, one of those SummerSlam classics and all that stuff. Now this next one I had previously mentioned in the year in wrestling review for the year 2000 is the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match for the tag titles at that year's SummerSlam in 2000 is Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus the Hardys, and this match exceeded my expectations. Because I didn't know a lot about all three teams, and if you want to know a little bit more about all three teams, go listen to our rivalries or our debate hour on on these three teams to know a little bit more about what they've done in the business. Um, and plus, all three teams killed it out there. And plus, I think it's a good, cool statistic. It was I think Edge and Christian started the year in the year 2000 as tag champs, and they ended the year in I think they ended in 2001 as tag champions, which was kind of funny. Um, but yeah, this match was balls to the wall action from start to finish. And you had people going through tables, people going through getting concertoed. You had ladder spots and all that stuff. It's just absolute mayhem, and it's in North Carolina where the Hardy Boys are from. And you would think Hardy Boys would win that night and all that stuff, but Eddie Christian pulls it out of the bag and wins the tag titles for I don't know, I think fourth, fifth time, I think, at that point. Which is a good, really cool statistic for them and a huge accolade to them as well. Alright, now we're going to go into modern day a little bit. And we're going to go into the 2013 SummerSlam. Now, there's two matches that I'm going to be talking about from that SummerSlam, and one of them is this: is CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar in no DQ match. Now, when you think of CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, it's like, like this match on paper is going to be like, a huge mismatch, whatever. It's like Brock's going to squash him, whatever. This match actually kicked that match, kicked that expectation into overdrive. If you follow my ideology here, um, this match actually was like, I think it was like rated like match of the year in the observers that year. I'm thinking, which is a huge accolade. And plus, this is like when Punk's like almost on his way out a little bit. Brock's like just coming back and all that stuff, like a year back into it. And Brock needs a huge win and all that stuff. And I think it's the next month. I think the next year, I should say. Brock like demolishes John Cena and all that stuff. Um, this match was like I said with the SummerSlam 2001. It's like this was like balls to the wall, like a lot of fun. You get to see Brock Lesnar guy like having a lot of fun. Um, and plus it's a big man versus little man matchup, which I like because it's like you can have a whole bunch of fun with it. There's like kendo stick shots, there's chair shots, there's like Brock like almost not kicking out of the CM Punk elbow and all that stuff, and ultimately, like, Brock Lesnar wins and all that stuff, but it's like a huge showing for Punk, um, and, it's a huge showing for Lesnar, like, like taking a guy hit Punk's size to the limit, and it's like he's always had good matches with smaller wrestlers, if you think about that. Brock Lesnar's had really good matches between AJ and Daniel Bryan, and they're smaller than him, but he always makes them look good, which is the freaking awesome thing about Brock Lesnar. Yeah, like he's in it for the money and all that stuff, but it's like he always makes somebody look good in the end. Sometimes. But now I'm gonna cast your minds back to the early '90s, almost mid '90s, SummerSlam 1994. Main event was Undertaker versus Undertaker, quote unquote. But let's go to the semi-main event, which should be the main event. It was the Bret Hart versus Owen Hart steel cage match for the WWF Championship in the blue solid steel cage, with the Hart family and all that stuff at the ringside. This match really was really good too. Lots of technical wrestling, lots of trying to like if Owen can like escape the shadow of his brother Bret Hart and all that stuff. Because if you cast your minds back to WrestleMania 10 that year, Bret and Owen wrestled in the opening match, and it was the best opening match, Mania match of that year, or of all time too. And Owen was like strive for what's what I'm looking for? Strive for greatness in the years to come. I think he should have been WWF champion at that point because he had won King of the Ring that year and all that stuff. And it's like he was like on a huge stride out of Bret Hart's shadow, and to really capitalize on it, like they should have literally gave Owen that championship because like he would have been like like the biggest snot nosed heel on the roster. Um, but then again, like I said, this match was really fun. Lots of like false finishes and all that stuff too. Really really tells you the story of like these two brothers. Like one hates the other more than the other one does because the other one wants to try to like play by the book and like trying to like just have a good wrestling match and all that stuff, but try not to win dirty and all that stuff. But the other one's just trying to get out of there, be like the dastardly heel and all that stuff, and it's really good storytelling. I would really suggest that match to anybody. If you like Bret Hart, if you like Owen Hart, these two really mesh together, and I actually talked about the Bret Hart and Owen Hart rivalry on the on our series for rivalries and all that stuff. If you want to go check that out as well. So, keeping with the theme of the 90s and all that stuff, we're going to go to SummerSlam 1995, which is the infamous HBK Razor Ramon ladder match. This is the second ladder match between these two, because the previous year in '94 at WrestleMania 10, this is the HBK and Razor Ramon Intercontinental Championship unification ladder match, where the winner was Razor Ramon, and so he was defending his title against HBK again a year later, which is crazy. And plus, like that match, the previous year at WrestleMania, like little bit over time. So it's like they're trying to like not say anything, but this actually, I think their first ladder match was good, but this ladder match was a little bit better because it still had the exact same storytelling as the first one, but it's a little bit more theatrics added onto it, if I can say that wholeheartedly. But yeah, like I was saying, this ladder match, uh, I guess over delivered from the first one a year earlier. Um, but let's go back to the SummerSlam 2013 with the CM Punk and Brock Lesnar match. Now we're going on to the main event. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, the Yes Man, the Goat Man himself. Um, winning against Cena clean, which is crazy. And plus, this is the peak of the Yes movement in years to come and all that stuff. Um, Daniel Bryan winning that night was a really cool moment, but the moment after it, it's like kind of like shocked a lot of people because Triple H was the special guest referee, and he raised Daniel Bryan's hand. He looks towards the ramp and all that stuff. You see Randy Orton coming down with his Money in the Bank briefcase that he won the previous month, and then pedigrees Daniel Bryan, lets Randy Orton cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and wins against Daniel Bryan. It's a weird choice to close the show out that way. But then you have the multi-month feud between Bryan and Orton, which leads into I think Hell in a Cell, where they kind of end that feud. It kind of like brings it up again within the next year in 2014, and then you have Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30, which is a huge moment for people, us wrestling stands and marks, and it's like one of those moments where it's like why did that need to happen, sort of thing. But Cena versus Bryan, it's a really good match on paper. It's like the biggest like company man versus the underdog, and the underdog won that night, and like a lot of people were happy. I was happy because like that's Daniel Bryan, like Bryan Danielson, like nowadays, and it's like man, it's like I wish we could have gotten that moment just last a little bit longer, but I mean it is what it is. Now, going into the final SummerSlam match of the night. I know these are kind of like few and far between a little bit, and they're kind of like short and all that stuff. But there's been just a lot that's going on with the SummerSlam stuff right now. I'm just trying to get it done before SummerSlam even comes out, so then I could just watch SummerSlam by myself. Because it's probably been a few days removed at this point. Um, the final match that I'm going to be talking about is the dream match that we've been wanting to have for a long time. It was SummerSlam 2017. It was John Cena versus AJ Styles. Now, the internet blew up when Cena and AJ were announced for SummerSlam that year. I was really shocked that we were getting it that soon. I mean, and the right man won that night. AJ Styles won that night, which was a good sign for things to come. And this is also the SummerSlam where Finn Balor tears his shoulder out towards his rotator cuff. from not a botched buckle bomb, but a power bomb onto the ring side and all that stuff. Finn Balor had to miss out for a long time just to heal up and rest up. But this is about Cena and AJ. Cena and AJ Styles. Man, like it's like if you think about it on paper, it's Mr. WWE versus Mr. TNA, and I couldn't imagine like if they had done a crossover promotion at that time in '07. Like this is like when AJ was on up and all stuff, and Cena was like winning all the time and all that stuff. It's like I don't know how they would have done it that way. Because like I think both sides would have been like, fighting for each person. Like, okay, well, John Cena needs to win, but also AJ needs to win and all that stuff. It would have been like a no contest for sure, fuck to finish. But AJ, gets the win over Cena and all that stuff in a huge upset. And a lot of people probably didn't expect AJ to win because, like, it's Cena wins law. But I'm thinking, like, AJ winning, it's like, it was the right decision. It was the good decision because a lot of people wanted AJ to win, and he did, and which is a good thing. And it was the curse that John Cena has had for a long time until like a few years ago, where he never wins at SummerSlam, and it was like that record was still like withheld and all that stuff until like a few years ago, like I said. Um, but man, it's like these SummerSlam matches, like they mean a lot to a lot of people, but they also mean a lot to me because like a lot of these SummerSlam matches, it's like it's a huge um, how am I trying to say this? It's a huge honor to actually like go and review some of these matches and stuff because like throughout all walks of life, like because I talked about early '90s, mid 2000s or 2000, and like the 2010s and all that stuff. There was a lot of SummerSlam matches that I could have gone through, but these were the matches that I remember liking and loving so much as a kid and as an adult. Because like I'm about to turn 26 in like within a few months, so it's like it's good to go back and just like revisit some of these old matches and all stuff. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What was your favorite SummerSlam match? And if you have any favorite SummerSlam matches, leave it as like a little list in the comments below. I'll read them and see what you guys think. So, with that being said, thank you very much for listening and or watching this episode. Sorry if I'm a little tongue tied tonight. It's just because I'm just trying to get something situated and all that stuff right now. It's nothing major or anything, but it's shaping up to be hopefully a good year, rest of the year, I should say. But let's end on this night with a good positive note. Positive note, right? So tonight's song of the night, it is from a artist that me and Marissa have gotten to know, kind of not too long ago, but kind of recently. He had just dropped an album not too long ago, this year, and is from Hardy, Hardy, not Hearty, Hardy, and is the song called Rockstar. And he references Nickelback in that song, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Rockstar by Hardy. There is a music video for it. And I know Marissa will put it in the top right hand corner, so you guys can go watch that. And let's see what else is there. Oh yes, the next episode is gonna be a what if episode. Now, this what if is gonna be something that I had thought of a little bit, and I'm not gonna spoil anything now, but the premise of it is going to be very, very interesting. And hopefully, you guys will listen to it and watch it. But with that being said, go show us some love on this podcast channel. Please share it with your friends. We have a link tree which will take you to our Instagram page, Twitter page, Reddit page, Facebook page, my Instagram versus Instagram, this podcast channel, of course, obviously, my gaming YouTube channel. Hopefully by this time I will be at 1,500 subscribers. If not, that's okay. There's always many more months ahead of us. And also in that link tree is also a GoFundMe page for Marissa's father, Richard Andrews. He's a very, very sweet guy. He's currently going through small cell lung cancer right now. Don't know what stage he's in. At this point, that's not for me to disclose here. But there is a GoFundMe at this time. It's just to help for gas, food, electric bills, and all that stuff. The goal is to reach 7,500. At this point, I don't know how much they have for the donation at this point, but please go share that GoFundMe link with all your friends and your loved ones, because this is to help out with my friend, my podcast partner in crime, my former podcast partner in crime, and my dear friend and her father at this time. And yeah, so please go show them some love, and I will see you guys next Thursday for What If. Peace.